Ladies and gentlemen, can I welcome you back to the second session, the one which follows lunch. I've heard quite a few comments actually, even though our lunch was quite good, it wasn't as good as John's barbecue. So, but it was good enough. Nothing is as good as John's barbecue. So we follow on towards the marine tourism and ecology session. The first presentation, new tourism product development in Cyprus, with an emphasis on sea-based tourism. Authors, Orestis Rossides and Costas Catsellies from COT. Okay, a bit of biography for the speaker. Orestis Rossides obtained the BA and an MA in economics from Washington State University in the United States. He is a member of the Association of National Tourism Office Representatives, a committee member for 22 years now, still is today, and the chairman between 94 and 95, and the ABTA-ANTOR committee, 1991 to date. He has lectured in economics at Washington State University, was economics officer at the Ministry of Finance in Cyprus, and tourist officer, Cyprus Tourism Organisation, Research and Planning. He is currently the Director Office of the Cyprus Tourism Organisation in London.
Hello again. May I introduce my colleague, because I was born in a village. I wasn't born by the sea, but Costas Catsellies is the son of Andreas Catsellies, who was the owner of the first hotel in Cyprus, the Dome Hotel, and subsequently he was also the owner of the Dome Hotel in Augusta. So basically he'll be able to answer some of the questions that may arise later on. My title is Maritime and Maritime Potential in Cyprus. My specific reference is the development of marinas in Cyprus. And just a few introductory remarks. Cyprus is the warmest European country. It lies in the south. You can see where it lies. It's a very protected area. The waters are very clean because you don't get all these navigation routes of Western Europe. You have Eastern Europe. So therefore, it's protected still. The waters are very calm. So this is a basic advantage for having marinas in Cyprus because of the climate conditions that allow people to stay there throughout the winter. And this is why we're interested in the Cyprus Tourist Board to promote, and we were the first ones to have a public marina at Larnaca. So the first marina in Larnaca started with 250 berths about 30 years ago, and now it has grown to 400 berths. And the plan is to upgrade it to 1,000 berths. But that means that the Ports Authority of Larnaca is now implicated, and because you're combining to a much bigger project, which is close to, I don't know, 500 to 600 million pounds. I think we're still waiting for the investors to come through, but it's on plan that we will be part of the port and marina development. So, and that means that we will have much more stringent security issues, and we have a security expert on the difference perhaps between a marina security and an entry point to the country as far as big ships are concerned. I don't know whether, but I understand that it is quite different proposition. The first private marina was one of St. Raphael, and it belonged to the Sheraton, which again was built by Lebanese, and again, unlike the public marina in Larnaca that has quite modest charges, and you had all the Cypriot LPs there, so they made sure that the charges were quite low. And of course, it was always full, but it was quite modest, and it was not able to attract quite larger boats, perhaps, and more expensive boats. In contrast, the San Rafael Limassol Marina, which was built about 15 years ago, it was a private marina. It had a rich Arab clientele. It has higher charges and more expensive boats. And now we come to the new Limassol Marina, which is obviously state-of-the-art project. We're talking about 350 million pounds. And again, it's quite easy for the owners to develop it. It was easy because they had the land, and so they brought in Cypriot construction companies like JMP and their own Ioannides family, SI Barco Development, but at the same time they attracted international investment, and whatever they did was they have a success record, because they had the first 5-star hotel in Limassol, the Limassol Amathus, and then they had the Paphos Amathus, and then they had the Aphrodite Hills, which was combined with residential development. And in this case, again, we are talking about development according to a master plan. So the aspiration was to turn Cyprus into Marbella, basically, Limassol into Marbella. And in fact, they are successful in that, in the sense that you take a derelict area. I remember how it was 25, 30 years ago. And now first they developed the area around the castle, full of restaurants. And they did the museum, which was supported by the Leventis Foundation, which has all the medieval history and all the influences of Cyprus, from Richard the Lionheart to the Venetians and everybody else. And again, it's part of the integrated project. But it is a very ambitious project. And I mean, I spoke to the person promoting the marina yesterday, and they said that basically the maritime facilities are now complete, about 98%. Some of the residential areas, because this is the first marina development that includes shops, includes apartments, includes also villas. So you have basically you can have the berth facility, and just around the corner you have your own private villa. I mean, the 2 private villas, the most expensive, have been taken off the market. So I mean, there is a market, I suppose, for everything. And again, to locate in your minds where this is, it's just it's on the outskirts of Limassol, and it's quite near Akrotiri and the Episcopi garrison area. So from that marina, you can easily go to Akrotiri, you can go to Episcopi, you can go to Paphos. So the accessibility is very good. And again, it has very expensive berth facilities, and it's able to host these so-called super yachts. And now, again, going back to the public and private sector partnership, again, things become a bit more difficult once you get some smaller private developers coming in as part of the consortium. Because in Paphos was where the first marina new marina would have been built, in a location called Potima. It would have been 1,000 berths. It's still on paper. The interest is there by the private sector, but then you need to get all the licenses, and you need to get, I mean, the environmental impact studies have been done, but you need to get everybody to agree in order to get the investment to be done and to have the actual construction. So Paphos is it was supposed to be the next one. It will happen in 2 or 3 years' time, as soon as we get these things sorted out. There is some progress made in Ioannapa, but again, a project of 700 berths. It's outside Ioannapa in the Ayafekla area. And we also have a marina development, again, on the plan of 600 berths. And that's along it's in the middle of there's a lovely promenade in Protaras. I don't know if you've been there, but it's in the middle of it. But behind it, it's the house of Taos Papadopoulos, basically that that area is basically not moving for the time being. So that's basically as far as an outline for the marinas. As Cyprus Tourism Organisation and with Costas, we about 6-7 years ago we're beginning to develop diving. Now you might say diving in Cyprus, why would anyone go to Cyprus to dive? But we found that there are a number of attractions. We're not ALAT and we're not some of the most prominent and easily recognizable diving destinations, but Cyprus does have attractions as far as diving. There will be 4 artificial reefs that will be completed by the end of the year. There are many interesting cave formations throughout the island, and there's also a wreck just outside Larnaca town. It's the Zenovia. It's a Swedish boat that was sunk about 25 years ago, and there's a lot of interest. There are people going there almost on a daily basis in small groups to find out, the engineering talent of the Volvo, all these Volvos that have been sunk together with the Zenovia, because it had a lot of things in the container. And the other element that, again, we are trying to develop on the back of the success during the Olympics of Pavlos Kontidis. We had, he won a silver medal in the Olympics in sailing. So we thought, well, this could pay dividends. And again, as Nora said earlier, we had Andreas Kariolu initiating this whole thing about the sailing in the ancient times, and so it is in our genes. One last thing to complement her own presentation is that there is a replica of Karin both in the Ioannidis Museum, but there is a smaller replica in the University of Manchester. It was donated by Andreas Canaris, who used to be a physics professor who turned a travel agent. So for many years he had a travel agency in the University of Manchester, and about 15 years ago he donated the replica to the university. I've never seen it, but it would be interesting for me to go see all these replicas of Karin. So that's basically my short presentation. So if there's anything else you need later on, I'm happy to help you, especially Costas, because he's the seaman. I'm a country boy. Thank you very much.